What's going on, ladies and gents? Thanks for checking out the Southern Skunk. My truck right here decided to have some issues today. Was supposed to be making a delivery this morning, but when I got to the first stop sign, my truck is making a grinding noise, and I'll show you guys that here in a second. But just the history on my truck, it's old, it's already got a lot of issues with it. But a few days ago, I was moving my camper around and I was starting, stopping, turning really sharp because I was having a pain trying to get the camper where I needed it to go. I knew I was probably wearing my truck out and I was waiting for it to fall apart at any moment, and it didn't. But this morning looks to be the day that it's wanting to have issues. So we'll get in my truck, I'll show you the noise, and we'll see if we can't solve it. All right, now whenever I was hearing the noise, it was when I was touching my brakes. I know what brake pads sound like. I know if you don't change those, then you're gonna have other issues, like with your rotors and stuff. I've had those issues before. That's not what I'm hearing here. So let me put my phone out the window and see if we can't hear the noise. I'm not hearing it right now, to be honest. Guys, I kid you not, I have not fixed anything in my truck. And earlier I was leaving and I'm hearing a hard grinding noise when I'm hitting the brakes on my driver's side. Not on the passenger side, on the driver's side, hitting brakes, hearing a grinding noise, wondering what the issue was. I already took a sneak peek under there. I'll show you guys that here in a second. And you kind of hear a rattling sound every once in a while too, and I've heard that for a while. It kind of like something was literally just ready to fall off. And what I'm about to show you guys here in a second may be that rattling sound I've been hearing. But gosh darn, I wish I had the noise of that grinding sound. It's not there, guys, but again, I'm hearing a true grinding sound coming. Wow, grinding sound coming from the driver's side. So I'm gonna show you guys what I looked at anyways. Sorry. A few things I want to look at on the other side. Right here, I know there used to be an old piece of crap thing right here because I knew one day that was going to come off. Number two is this right here. Don't really think that's supposed to be looking like that way. I think that's my CV axle, or one of my axles, and this is a CV joint, I'm not sure. Then the other thing I saw was when I was looking at it, this is how my little brake setup was sitting. I don't know if you can see there, but it looks like this used to obviously be sitting a little farther up. And I can actually, well, I could earlier, actually like push this forward, because it looks like I should be having a bolt run through the back side of this. So those are three things I want to look at on the other side. So this is comparing the passenger side, which I haven't been hearing any issues with. Number one, as you can see, there's no room right here. Or not that there's not room, but you can't see any wear marks like this is falling off. And there is a bolt right here, which is not on the other side. And then let's look in here. This area looks a lot better than the other side, to be honest. And then obviously this is about to darn fall off, but and it's gone on the other side. So I don't know, this is missing on the other side. this looks different. The other one, like you could see, you know, some grease or oil or something coming out from here. And obviously that's not in good shape, but anyways, yep. All right, guys, upon further inspection, we're missing not just one bolt, we're missing 2 bolts. So logically, at least in my mind, especially when you're broke, you start with the cheapest option first. So we went to Napa and got 2 bolts to put in there, and as you guys could see, it wasn't making that grinding noise. But whenever I went into Napa and I told him I was missing these 2, I guess there's 2 other ones I could have been missing. But anyways, he's like, well, let me go out there and see which ones you're missing. And he was shocked. He was like, dang. And he was like, how far are you driving? And I was like, not very far. And he was like, okay, because if you weren't driving far, I'd try to do it in the parking lot, because that caliper can fall off of your whatever the heck it's on and get wedged in your wheel, and it'll kick you off the side of the road and do all these types of things. So guess I'm solving a pretty major issue, and I don't know how this happened, honestly. So in order to do this, instead of lifting my truck all the way up again, I just turn the wheels all the way to the right so that I've got access through here. So we'll get down here and see if we can't get these in here. But I'm obviously gonna need more than one hand. I lied, I had to jack it up because that was a pain in the butt. Now just a quick word, why do I even make these repair videos? I'm obviously not a professional. The reason I do them is because I'm showing you anybody can do it. With YouTube, with Google, you can figure out how to do about it anything now. And I don't know anything about vehicles, but what I do know I have is I have a good side of my truck and a bad side of my truck. So like I was showing you, you can take off the wheel on the good side or whatever you're doing, get an overall look at it, and then go to the good side where you know nothing is wrong, and just compare the 2. And whichever part is probably broken on one side and not on the other, that's probably gonna be your issue. And the reason I have to do all this is because I don't have a ton of money to go spend, just go take it in the shop and have somebody do this for $400 or $500. I don't have that kind of money. And there's just other ways of doing things. That's what the Southern Skunk is about, is doing things on your own. I mean, we don't have to pay somebody to do absolutely everything. My brother was calling me the other day and he was like, man, I just figured out how expensive tires are. I'm just wanting to drive my car for a couple more years so I can sell it and get a truck, blah, blah, blah. Tires are so expensive. I was like, go get new tires, or go get used tires. There's plenty of used tire shops. Go in there. You can find some that have pretty good tread on them still. That'll get you through the next year or 2, and you can sell your car. You do not have to go out and spend $800 on a new set of tires, and that's probably on the cheaper side. But yeah, hope this just encourages some people. So now let's get these bolts in here. Let me tell you guys something horrible. These screws are not going in here, and the guy at Napa told me something, and I hoped he was wrong. He said, hopefully what didn't happen is that your bolt broke off in here. So basically, what that would mean is the head of this would break off, and it would look like you were missing a bolt, when in reality, it was broke. And now this one won't go in, and I'm having a hard time getting it out. So it's taken me a while to get these bolts in. This one I just have sitting here. This is the first one I got in. I was holding this whole thing, trying to get it to screw in. Wouldn't happen, wouldn't happen, wouldn't happen. What I ended up doing was pushing this piece right here. This is where your brake pads are inside of. Pushing this in this way. And while I was pushing this in, I was using my other hand to, so I was basically using this hand like this, tightening it, while my right hand was pushing this in. That was the easiest way for me to do it, and the only way I could do it. Now I need to get this last one in. Now both the bolts are back in. Heard people talking about Loctite, so you probably want to do that to them. Nonetheless, got these about as tight as they're gonna go, so we should be fixed. All in all, this repair probably didn't take me more than an hour and cost me 10 bucks. Those two bolts were 10 bucks. And the difficulty level, as long as you've got a jack and a socket wrench, probably like a 2. So taking my truck on my first little outing, and it seems to be running perfectly fine. I just actually got off the phone with my father-in-law, and I live right there on the edge of town right now. Me and my wife were about to be moving, but live right there on the edge of town, and my father-in-law actually thinks someone was trying to steal my brake caliper, and maybe a dog barked or something and they left or whatever. But anyways, he thinks that's why my caliper bolts might have been missing, but I don't know. Like I said, there's also a lot of rattling going on down there, so one of those bolts could have been missing for a while now. And then whenever I was moving that camper the other day, back, forth, turning sharp, all this, that, and the other, then it worked that other one out too. So I don't know. If this helped you guys, please give it a thumbs up. If you're happy that I helped myself, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, that's all I got for you. Like they say, let the skunk spray.